Howdy friends and neighbors. On our recent visit to the farm on Route 66, I had the opportunity to work with this little filly named Pearl, and what I thought I would do over the next couple of videos is give you an inside look from my perspective and give you my observations as I'm working with Pearl. My hope is that this will help somebody out there in their horsemanship journey find a better way to communicate with their horse. So sit back and relax as I bring you this training session with Pearl through my eyes. Hope you enjoy. From the time you approach your horse to catch it, to the way you turn it loose, everywhere in between, you're training that animal, either good or bad. So you have to have good processes of thought, and you have to have really structured interaction with your horse. You can see here Pearl is very nervous. When you have a horse moving its feet erratically back and forth and their attention's not focused, you know that their mind is also the same way. They're just expressing what they're feeling and what they're thinking through their feet. So I sat there just a little bit to try to get her to focus before I moved on to the next thing, which was going through the gate. I'd never laid hands on this horse before today, and I don't know anything about her, so I'm just taking her as she is and working through some of the ways that she has and her natural instincts. One of the first processes that I try to instill in a horse is I'll let them express themselves, and then I will bring them back down. As soon as I gave her an opportunity, she took off. She wants to move her feet. Didn't ask her to move her feet. She just took the opportunity to take off. So I let her express herself, and then I'm just going to bring her back down. She's really a responsive horse, so she is really sensitive to pressure, and she has never been desensitized. She's not been overly handled, so working with her is fairly easy to put pressure on her. You have to be really easy in how you apply pressure to her because she is so sensitive. So I just let her express herself. She took off. I turned her back around, got the rope around her. She kind of got herself in that predicament the way she turned, so I just went with it. And here I'm just bringing her back down, giving her the opportunity to just stop her feet, stop her mind, and kind of calm down. This is the very first process I'll do, is just get a little bit of structure going. She really moves her hindquarters well. You apply pressure, and she sees just about everything as pressure. So that's one thing I know right off the bat that I'm going to have to take and teach her, is the difference between what is pressure and what's not pressure. Here again, I'll move her out, let her express herself. I never want to trap an animal. I want to take and give them the opportunity to express themselves. If they want to run, if they want to blow up, particularly when I'm first working with them, I want them to express themselves, and then I'll give them the opportunity to come back down. So emotionally, physically, mentally, they get to express themselves. And then I bring them back down and give them the opportunity to just calm down. And at that point, I'm going to interact with them. You see, she doesn't like fast movements around her face, which is pretty normal. She's been out in the wild. She has that self-preservation instinct. But she's got to learn that right there with me is the best place to be. And I'm not one to just work a horse into the ground, just get them real tired and then do what I want. I try to find a balance between work and rest, and give them the better option. With a horse like this that likes to move their feet a whole lot, I'm going to try and do more resting than I do working. I don't want to reinforce bad behavior. It's not really bad behavior. She has a natural instinct. She wants to run from everything. That's her answer. But I want to take that out of the equation as much as possible. So I'm giving her the opportunity to rest with me as much as possible. So in between bringing her emotional level up, her expression up where she wants to go, and resting, I spend the majority of my time just sitting here petting. I took out a lot of video because it's just me standing there for 5 minutes just rubbing on her. You see here, she wants to go. I'm just going to disengage her hindquarters, get her to stop her feet, and just go back to rubbing on her. You can see here my body language is totally different. I have my back to her. I'm just petting on her. This is what another horse would do. I'm going to bring her back up. Let her express herself. Move her out. I'll get her to lope out for me if I can. There she does. Or get her to really move out there. And I'm doing two different things here. I'm letting her express herself, and I'm also establishing leadership. A horse in a herd, a leader would push her around, and then I'm letting her come back into me and rest. Not just rest, but just to be calm with me and get her mind to settle. I want to see how far I can get with her here, touching her, rubbing on her, and letting her remain calm. If she gets too agitated, I'll send her back out, move her feet again, and then bring her back down and give her that opportunity to rest. Here she's moving out. She's a little bit more relaxed, which is what I'm looking for when I do work them. I don't want them just what we call wild-eyed and blowing around. She wanted to leave, but her demeanor was a lot calmer. Her body expression was a lot more softer. And that's what we're looking for when they do go to move out. I spend a lot of time here talking with Alan and just rubbing on her, resting, and just giving that horse the opportunity to stop their feet, to slow their mind down is just as much a part of training as working a horse. And I think that's kind of forgotten. A lot of times we want to work a horse, but resting and letting them settle is what I call it in their mind is just as much a part of training as doing something with them, letting them hang out with you. Particularly a horse like that hadn't been handled a whole lot. I want them to understand that being with me is a good place to be. It's a place where they don't have to be emotional. And when they do move, I want it to be initiated by me. So here, I'm going to move her out again, establishing leadership, getting her emotional level up. She wanted to kind of stop at the gate. She'll balk again here, and she kind of wants to stop at the gate. And when I do stop and bring her back down, there she wants to stop at the gate again. She will have her attention towards the gate. Right here, she wants to go towards the gate, and I have to redirect her and say, nope, over there is not where safety's at. With me is where you're going to find your rest and get your mind settled. And horses, as you're working them, they will try to find different avenues of release. She thinks going back out that gate, getting back out to her buddies was the avenue of release, and I just kind of closed that door. And that's kind of what, training is. As you're working, you think, well, this horse is getting it, and then they will look for another door to take, another opportunity to find a release of pressure. And you just have to take and close that door and make yourself the better option. Here I'm putting a little bit more pressure on her, Just stepping up the game, throwing a rope over her back, bringing that emotional level up. She was pretty calm before moving out, so now I'm going to push the envelope, throw a rope on her, get her to express herself emotionally. You can see she's kind of excited about that. So then I have to come in and bring her back down emotionally, get her to settle again. This is the very first process that I do with all horses every time I walk into a round pen with them. Whether they're a ball or a block, I just modify to what the needs of the horse are. So on the next episode, we'll take this training just a little bit farther. I want to thank you all for stopping by. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, be not weary in well doing, for in due season ye shall reap, if you faint not. We'll see you later.